3 years ago, I left a job that was paying me $42,000 a year. I got my final paycheck, signed the exit paperwork, and moved on. I completely forgot about the 401k. When I finally checked, after 3 years of the account just sitting there, I had left $4,300 essentially unmanaged. And because of the fees and the fund it was sitting in, that account had not grown. It had actually shrunk. I was not alone. There are 32 million forgotten 401k accounts in the United States right now. Collectively, they hold $1.65 billion in unclaimed funds. Here is what I found when I actually went looking for mine. This video is specifically about what happens to old 401k accounts when you leave a job. Where they go, what happens to them, how much they cost you when you ignore them, and the exact steps I took to find and consolidate mine. If you have ever left a job and not explicitly rolled over your retirement account, this video is for you. Here is how a forgotten 401k happens. You start a job. Your employer enrolls you in a 401k, sometimes automatically. You contribute some amount, maybe your employer matches a portion. You work there for a few years, then you leave. And at the moment you walk out the door, no one in that process is responsible for reminding you that a retirement account with your name on it still exists inside your former employer's plan. It does not automatically transfer to your new employer. It does not automatically follow you. It sits. Inside a plan you no longer have an active login for, run by a provider you may not even remember. And here is what happens to it while it sits. Option A. The account keeps growing if it's invested in something reasonable, but it's probably sitting in whatever fund you were defaulted into when you joined, often a money market or target date fund that may or may not match your actual goals. Option B, and this is the one that happened to me, the account is below $5,000. At that point, the former employer has the right to force transfer it. Forced transfer means they can cash it out, minus a 10% early withdrawal penalty and income taxes, and send you a check. Or they can roll it into an IRA with a provider they choose, not you. In my case, it went to a rollover IRA at a provider I had never heard of, with an expense ratio I would never have chosen, and I had no idea until I went looking. The fee situation is where the math gets painful. My forgotten account had $4,300 in it. It was sitting in a fund charging 0.85% annually in fees, which sounds small. But over the 3 years I ignored it, that expense ratio plus the underperformance of the fund relative to a basic index fund had cost me roughly $340 in unnecessary fees and opportunity cost. If I had rolled that $4,300 into a simple S&P 500 index fund 3 years ago, at historical average returns, it would be worth approximately $5,900 today. Instead, it was worth $4,180. The account had actually lost value, $720 in opportunity cost. From one forgotten account, over 3 years of doing nothing. Now multiply that across 32 million accounts. The math is staggering. Here is what I got wrong about old 401k accounts. I assumed they were fine. I assumed something was watching them. I assumed the company or the provider would alert me if anything needed attention. None of those things are true. The company that administered your old 401k has no financial incentive to remind you that you still have money with them. The employer you left has fulfilled their legal obligation the moment they deposited your contributions. No one is watching your forgotten account except you. The average American holds 12 different jobs over their career. If each job leaves behind even a small retirement account, the compounding cost of ignoring those accounts across a 40-year career can exceed $200,000 in lost growth. That number stopped me because I had already forgotten one. I needed to know if I had forgotten others. Here is exactly how I tracked down all my old accounts. Step 1. National Registry of Unclaimed Retirement Benefits, beaconabsentee.com. You enter your Social Security number and it searches for any unclaimed plan that lists you as a participant. Step 2. The Department of Labor's Abandoned Plan Database. I'll link it in the description. Searches terminated plans. Step 3. Contact every employer you can remember and ask HR directly if you have a balance in their plan. I found 2 accounts I had forgotten about. Combined balance, just over $7,000. Neither was growing the way it should have been. Rolling them over into my current IRA took 1 phone call and 1 online form. The whole process took about 40 minutes. The investment performance difference going forward, compounded over 25 years, is estimated at over $47,000. 40 minutes of paperwork, $47,000 in projected future value. Next week, I am doing the full Roth IRA versus traditional IRA comparison, and I am going to show you the specific tax math that determines which one actually wins depending on what you earn right now and what you expect to earn in retirement. That math surprised me. The answer is not what most articles tell you. If you have an old 401k you have not thought about in a while, the links to the 2 search tools are in the description. Go check. It takes 10 minutes. What you find might be significant.